What's up, Longhorn Nation? I'm Sammy Randall, and this is another post-game video of today's game, Texas versus Ohio State. And, it was a tough way to start 0-1, but you can't win them all, but we got to keep it rolling. And on the game earlier today, big noon kickoff, 11 a.m. game, Texas versus Ohio State in Ohio. My boy, Archie Manning, he was 17 for 30 for 170 yards, one touchdown, one interception. It wasn't his best day, but again, he's his first year starting, first game on the road, and I think he'll get better. Offensively, the rushing game, Travion Wisner, he had 16 carries for 80 yards, and that was pretty good. And receiving, Jack Indries, he had 4 catches for 50 yards. And Parker Livingston, number 13, he had 2 catches for 47 yards and a tutty. Great play on that touchdown he had in the fourth quarter. That was really good. And our defense was led by Leona Leaf. He had 9 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. And I know a Rough Rider when I see one, and he can get to the ball. So I look forward to him balling all year. On the Ohio State offensive side of the ball, quarterback Julian Sayin, he was 13 for 20 for 126 yards and a touchdown. He's a freshman, or first year starting as well, a young quarterback. Overall, I think he did pretty good. Their running back C.J. Donaldson, he had 19 carries for 67 yards. We held their rushing offense in check, so I like that our defense was able to do that. Jeremiah Smith, he had 6 catches for 43 yards, a couple drops, and our DBs had held him in check for the most part as well. And on defense, Davison Igbunson had 10 total tackles, so a couple stats right there. But overall, total yards, actually, Texas, we had 336 yards of total offense versus Ohio State. 203 yards total offense. So, one play here, another play there, we can easily have won the game. But even our rushing attack, we had a total of 166 rushing yards versus Ohio State, 77 rushing yards. So we have more total yards, more total rushing yards. That's a recipe for success, a recipe to win most games. As far as penalties, unfortunately, we had 6 penalties today for 50 yards. And Ohio State only had 2 penalties for 15 yards. So that's, for a first game, that's actually pretty good. Even 6, you rather 6 be 2, but it's not 10, it's not 12, or nothing crazy like that. So for the first game, I think overall, team did pretty good. We can get better. Definitely need to get ready for the SEC play here in about a month. But overall, pretty good game. And as far as the post-game presser, a couple of things I have here. Steve Sarkisian, he said a lot of things after the game. But in my notes here, he said first game was a good measuring stick and things they can and need to improve upon. And obviously, the first game, is always a good thing you can pull from, get back to the film room, study some tape, and get better. He said the plan was a good passing game to start the game, but it just wasn't in full rhythm, and eventually I know they got in better rhythm there in the second half, so that was good. He also said he was proud of the way his team fought and battled back at the end. Yeah, Ohio State could have easily went for 21 points, 28 points, and kind of went for a rout. But the defense, the team, they battled back. They didn't give up. It showed some grit on the road, and football, you need that. Obviously, he said this is a long season. The team will continue to get better. And Archer was able to watch quick film at halftime so he can better read some coverages and things like that. And especially for a young quarterback, it's all about, the game is all about adjustments. And Arch can get in that halftime, watch quick film, look at a couple pictures of what coverages the opposing defense was throwing at him, like today, Ohio State, the DBs playing over the top, some underneath stuff, trying to throw him off his game, but he was able to adapt and get better in the second half, so it was good to see that. And Coach Steve Sarkisian said he needs to make some better calls, and I'm sure he will. He's a great coach, so, hey, a couple of those quarterback sneaks, not sure about that. We got one, but he said hindsight is he probably would have subbed and got some of the big hog mollies in there. That's my version of the big boys up front to, get a better push because the Ohio State defensive line was able to get underneath there and stop them at the red zone. And he said, and I think Arch said that later too, that Parker Livingston had a great spring camp and he showed up today. And yeah, number 13, that boy is cold. And he a freshman. Oh yeah, he gonna get better. Let him eat. And Arch, so yeah, him and number 88, they did good today. So let Parker Livingston keep grinding and get better. And Coach said in his presser that he was most encouraged today by the ability to run the ball. And like I said earlier, Texas had 166 rushing yards versus Ohio State 77. So the offensive line of the Texas was able to establish the run, get some push, and we can control the line of scrimmage, rushing the ball all year. There's going to be a recipe for success in the postseason. And definitely if we somehow get to the next championship game, bring it back, run it back like 05 with Coach Mac Brown and Vince Young and the crew. But let me keep it rolling here. He said they didn't win today, but that's the life of a competitor. And we all know that, you win some, you lose some, but you win to play, fight for another day. So I definitely saw some things today that I think this team have the recipe for greatness, success, but they got to go do it. And last year for Steve Sarkisian, post-game press, he said, Arch, for people talking about Arch play or whatever, he said, let him finish the book. This is just one chapter, basically saying, don't write him off yet. He's going to get better. And I got faith in Steve Sarkisian going to call better plays, put him in better position to keep grinding, and Arch's going to get better. And by the end of the year, we'll have a pretty good season. And moving on forward here to Arch Manning's post-game presser, he said it's not good to start 0-1, and they have to obviously play better, and it starts with him, him being the quarterback. So if he play well, the team will play well. And the offense didn't start fast enough. They have to get better and get ready for San Jose State next week. And Arch Manning said he trusts Steve Sarkisian play calling, and he just got to play better. And he did mention the second half adjustment he made just early on, and overall they just didn't execute enough to get the job done. So that's what I got for Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning post-game presser, and my take on that with the stats. And player of the game for Texas, I'm going to go with the defense. They only gave up 14 points versus Ohio State, so hey, we can only give up 14 points all year. Texas, all we got to do is get 15 points or score 3 touchdowns, 21 points, and we'll be winning. And my offensive ballers, number 88, Jack Indris, and number 13, Parker Livingston. I like the old boys. They balled out today. Like they have some rhythm with Arch, so hopefully they can build upon that. Running backs keep balling, running the ball, and they'll be good. And I know a good coach when I see one, and Steve Sarkisian is a darn good one. So, he'll get the troop, get the guys together, rally, get them ready for San Jose State next week, and for the team to keep grinding for a good year this year for the 2025 season. And actually their next opponent, San Jose State, lost to Central Michigan on Thursday of this week. So both teams will be headed to next weekend, the second week of the season, 0-1, wanting to get their first win of the season. So hopefully next week, Texas, we can get their first win of the season. home game against San Jose State, and it's going to be good. But I'm Sammy Aranda. This is the Sammy Aranda Longhorn Show. I'm excited. The season is back. I'm doing this for the Longhorn Nation, University of Texas, Longhorn football team. I'm geeked up. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. Until next time, comment, like, and subscribe. Now I'll talk to you guys later. Hook 'em horns.